So I was seeing this girl, and she was the hottest girl that I'd ever really talked to. She's quite stunning to me at that time. You know, I had very little experience with women, but we're having sex. I remember one time I said something dirty to her, just standard, you know, it wasn't anything too crazy. And then she turns to me and like, obviously she's like, don't ever call me that. After that had happened, she's kind of distant, and then she invites me on a camping trip. So I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be great. You know, I'll go camping with her. We're going to this like secluded island. The things are progressing. And then we got on the camping trip, but she brought her friends with her, and 6 of her friends or something came as well. You had to get like a ferry over. So we're together in the camping thing. I'm seeing her friends, the people that I've never met before. And she's really distant. You know, I'm like, oh, well, can we sleep in the same tent? She's like, no. And then I'm like, oh, I want to spend time with you. She's like, oh, I'm talking to my friends, like I'm busy. So I didn't really know anyone. It was really awkward for a few days. Fast forward to the ferry back. And she's like, oh, you come back with me. We'll get the ferry back. She had to take her car back along the ferry to take it back to Brisbane. I had to transport over. And we're sitting in the car. And then she's like, oh, I'm going to go get a drink, go to the bathroom, whatever. And at this point, I was pretty over it. I had all my stuff in the back of her car. I didn't really have anything, so I had to wait for her to drive me home once we got back to Brisbane. She walks into the coffee shop or whatever that's on the boat, and then her phone starts ringing again and again and again. And I looked at it in the console, and I'm like, 8 or 10 messages from this guy, Matt. And then I remember thinking, I'm like, oh, I'm going to check this. And back in those days, it wasn't that common that people put pins on their phone. So I was just like, clicked it, I hit the text button. Bunch of texts lit up where she's like, you know, I can't wait to fuck this guy, dirty talking things to each other while she was with me. Then she gets back, and then I remember just sitting there, I'm sitting there. I didn't really say anything for ages. The car's waiting to depart, and then she's going to drop me home. And then I finally say to her, I'm like, what the fuck's with these texts? What's going on? Like, I'm here with you. You know that you invited me here. You know that I'm into you, and you're still talking to this guy. And she's like, oh, that's my ex. You know, these are things that you shouldn't have looked at. I'm like, oh, this is bullshit. I'm not fucking down for that. And then she goes, oh, do you want to walk home? You're going to have to walk home, or I'll drop you home. So pretty much you have to shut up, or I'll fucking kick you out here. And we get about halfway home. I'm like, oh, nah, fuck this. Like, you're a fuck this, I'm not putting up with this crap. She's like, well, what are you gonna do? Get out of the car? And I was like, yeah, stop the car, I'll get out. And I had to walk home. It was like 3 hours. Took all my shit with me. I had all my stuff on my back. I had no money, a phone that had no credit. I was very poor at that time. I remember taking the walk home. It just hit me like a satisfaction, but the satisfaction of being like, oh, I stood up for myself. You know, I said what I didn't like, and I stuck to it. My confidence just swelled up. And then I thought I never want to live any other way.